Hi and welcome back once again to the pod, the Pit of Doom and Trewithen, the build. Not a lot to show you. Well, yes, there is quite a bit to show you this week. Hi folks, welcome back to Hi folks, and welcome back to the Pit of Doom, the pod, and Trewithen. Right, we're going to show you some bits and pieces. I've done some building, which is most unusual for me. I'm filming this after I've done some running earlier, and let's just say it didn't go according to plan. I left it in because it amused me when I looked back at it afterwards. I did cut some bits out which did contain some rather blue language, I'm afraid. It had to be done. But yeah, we're going to have a look at that and some other bits and pieces as well that I've been doing. So sit back, enjoy the video. First thing I'm going to show you is the point rodding that I've put in. So we'll do that to start with. Then we'll move on to some other bits and pieces. I'll catch you all later in the video. Hope you enjoy this one. Bye. Catch you later. One thing I've done this week is representation of the point rodding. Now, it's nowhere near prototypical. I'm well aware of that. But it's just a representation, just to, once the ballast is in, just give something there that will look better than being bare and barren. So yeah, not brilliant, not as it should be maybe, but I didn't have any of the angle cranks or anything like that because the kit had already been opened and I'd used them. So there we go, I'm happy with that. Another job done is I built a dairy. I've done this out of the Will's Craftsman kit, and it's not very good. I've said in previous videos I do hate building buildings and kits like that. So I've had a go of it. I've made some bits and pieces. I've used some old Pico platforming. I've still got to paint the brickwork and fill in some gaps, but it's a fairly good representation of the dairy. So I'm going to show you a picture now, just as how once the scenics are done on this side, how I'm hoping it's going to look. So here's a photograph just to show you how I hope it's going to end up. Right, so the train has arrived. It's got some milk tanks on the back end. So this is the sort of operation I'm looking for. So it backs in and it picks up the existing tanks that are in there. And then comes back out. And then the two tanks that have come out of there are pushed back to there. Oops. Hit the controller a bit hard there, but yeah. So then those two tanks and the brake van are uncoupled. So now it's uncoupled from the brake van, and that portion of the train runs forward. and then the replacement tanks are put back into the dairy. I've got to sort out uncoupling magnets in there yet, so I'll just hand uncouple it for a moment. So with the replacement tanks in the dairy, the rest of the train now comes away. That's twice that's done that. So with the replacement tanks left in the dairy, and the rest of the train comes out now. And so with the replacement tanks now left in the dairy, the rest of the train can come back out. Right. And so with the two replacement tanks now left in the dairy, the rest of the train can come back out. Right, let me just explain what has happened there, what you've just seen. This van kept derailing, or one identical to this kept derailing, and I took the van off. I checked the back-to-backs between the shots that you've just seen. Couldn't really find anything wrong with it. I replaced it with another identical van, which was this one, and again, as you just saw on that last but one clip, it derailed again. The fault eventually was the KD coupler at this end of the cattle wagon, and the tail was down too low. It was catching on the point as it left the dairy siding, and that was forcing this one to twitch at a funny angle, which was derailing this van. So the derailing you've just seen, sorted out, we know what it is, and it was the tail here on that KD coupler. So right, so that's that. Now let me show you what is where. So after I'd done that bit of shunting, the next thing I did was to video me putting all the wagons into the correct siding. Unfortunately, I'd forgotten to switch the video on, which is a really good professional way of doing things. So there we go. Anyway, what actually happened was the rake of goods wagons was put into the goods shed. The cattle wagon that was causing all the problem was put down here where the cattle dock will eventually go, and the milk tanks with the brake van on were put into this siding here, so that was ready for departure. And then the loco was put into the head shunt around here. So that was that. The next thing that happened after that was that the loco came and picked up the cattle wagon. It then backed onto here, picked up the rake of wagons from here, and then it came round again. Whoopsie. Set the points right handy. And then came back and it picked up the two tanks and the brake van from the back of the train here, and it was then the train was ready to depart. So that's basically what happened in the video sequence that you haven't seen, but now you've seen the manual type operation. And then that train was then ready to depart with the loco on the front end of it. And anyway, let's show you some more of what we've been up to now, and then we'll finish this video off. Right, okay, let's finish off by showing you what the madman's been up to. As you're all aware, I never throw away bits of wood, So let me just finish this video with showing you what I've been playing at. Okay, pick this up without breaking everybody. That piece was left over from the goods shed, by the way. I'm not quite sure where it's going to go yet. It's got to have the crane on it. It may go up along there and form an end loading dock as well. Further down, obviously, give that a bit more of a run. Or it may go there, or I may put it around this side. But anyway, that's for later on. I've got to sort that out. Right, okay. The curved platform that was on Butte Road, I didn't throw it away. And it's sitting there now. It's now a piece of wood. It'll be cut obviously at this end and across at the centre where the baseboard joint is. But I'm thinking there a nice raised roadway running parallel around there to the tracks more or less, with a nice stone wall edging and a grass embankment down on this side of it, and then field and meadow, something like that over on this side here. And then these pieces of wood are representing what will probably be high ground in order to form a cutting going around the back, so that the layout will be scenically around to a tunnel mouth around in that corner. So that's what that's all about. The pot of paint's to remind me I've got to paint the rail sides before I do any of this scenic, because otherwise I won't be able to get to it. The branch line, that's going to go off, as we've already seen, around into a cutting there, and that comes around the back. Now the problem I've had is that I need to be able to get to those tracks over the back. So what I'm doing is, if I can do it gently, I've got a piece of wood here that's just resting on some bits of wood. That's going to have trees and bushes on it, that sort of thing, maybe even a roadway along the back. But it's going to be removable, so I can get down over to clean my track and to do maintenance and that sort of thing, but also to get to the over centre latch that's down there that joins the two baseboards together. So if I want to take the boards apart, I can do. So that will sit down in there. There's he trying to put it all back together without knocking it all over. Right, that will sit down in there. The embankment at the front will be a fraction higher, so that it will actually hide the join, and then there'll be fencing along the top of the embankment, so you won't actually see the join there. And then the same over in that corner, that one's going to be removable as one piece back there, which will be behind the tunnel mouth. So never throw bits of wood away. I've got lots of bits of wood, and they're giving me some idea of how I'm going to mount this up later on, and what the visual effect should be when I come round to doing this part here. And then again around here, I'm going to have to build this up quite a bit around here. This is going to be permanently removable, so the only piece of track that is going to be difficult to get to will be this little 6-inch piece under that corner. So that's the plan. We've got to see if it works now. So let's just see on that. Put the camera back. Right, okay, so there we go. That's it for this video. Thanks very much for joining me. Hopefully next week we'll maybe have a bit more done here. Might even get the track painted, and then we can start thinking about doing things like ballasting and that sort of thing. I wanted to build up this scenic corner so that I've got a visual in my mind as to what I'm looking for and how I think it's going to look once I've got lots of greenery on there. I can now see that in my mind, but there we go. Anyway, thanks again for joining me. Happy modelling, stay safe everybody, and I'll catch you again soon. Cheers now, bye.